Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question right now. What are you afraid of? Be honest. Don't hide. Is it failure, rejection, being alone, not being enough? Because let me tell you something that will shock you, awaken you, and maybe even change your life. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is your greatest teacher. We live in a culture that tells us to avoid fear, suppress it, numb it with distraction, drown it with comfort. But the truth, the raw, unfiltered, uncomfortable truth is this. Everything you want, everything you dream of, everything that will take you to the next level of your life, lies on the other side of fear. And I know some of you right now are saying, "But Tony, fear paralyzes me. It makes me freeze. It robs me of confidence." No, it doesn't. Fear doesn't paralyze you. Your reaction to fear does. Fear is just energy. It's a signal. It's your inner GPS shouting, "Growth lies here." It's the universe, God, or your soul, whatever you believe, telling you this moment matters. Step forward. Let me tell you something powerful. I've worked with millions of people across the globe, and I've seen it over and over again. The most extraordinary transformations didn't happen in moments of comfort. They happened in moments of fear. It was the entrepreneur who stared bankruptcy in the face and still made the next sales call. It was the abused woman who trembled walking out that door for the last time, but did it anyway. It was the athlete who stood on the field shaking, but showed up fully when it mattered most. Courage doesn't exist without fear. If you're not afraid, there's nothing to be brave about. Let me break it down for you. Fear is feedback. It's showing you where you've placed limits on your life. You fear public speaking. Good, get on the stage. You fear being vulnerable. Good, tell your truth. You fear failing. Good, start that damn business, because if you keep letting fear decide, it becomes your jailer. But when you confront it, when you use it, it becomes your coach. I want you to imagine your life 10 years from now. Imagine that you never face your fear. You avoid it, sidestep it, deny it. What happens? You shrink, your dreams decay, you settle, you regret. But now imagine the opposite. Imagine you walk into your fear, you feel it, you hear the voice in your head screaming, "You can't," and you say, "Watch me." You rise, you stretch, you awaken something ancient inside of you, the warrior, the fighter, the soul that knows, "I was built for this." Look, your comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. You must be willing to step into fear to become who you were born to be. It's time to rewire your belief. Fear is not the signal to stop. Fear is the sign to go. Fear is not the end. Fear is the beginning. Fear is not the problem. Fear is the portal. So let me leave you with this. Next time fear rises up, don't run. Stand tall, feel it, embrace it, ask it, "What are you here to teach me?" Because when you learn from fear, you no longer live in it. You rise above it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you become unbreakable, unstoppable, and fully alive. Fear is not your enemy. It's your compass. Think about this deeply. Every single one of us has been taught, either directly or indirectly, that fear is something to avoid. Run from it. Hide from it. Numb it. Distract yourself. But here's what no one told you growing up. Fear isn't the problem. It's the signal. It's not the monster under your bed. It's the sign pointing you to the next version of yourself. The version of you that's bolder, braver, more alive, more real. When you feel fear, your nervous system lights up, your palms sweat, your heart races, your thoughts get loud. But if you slow down for just a moment, if you stop seeing fear as a threat and start seeing it as a guide, you realize that it's revealing the precise direction you need to walk toward. It's like a compass that's been inside you the whole time, pointing you not away from danger, but toward your destiny. That's the reframe most people never experience. You fear speaking on stage. That's your compass telling you to find your voice. You fear rejection. That's your compass telling you to reclaim your self-worth. You fear failure. That's your compass telling you to redefine what success really means to you. Fear is not irrational. It's intelligent, but we've been trained to treat it as a wall instead of a window. You were born with a primal instinct to protect yourself, yes, but over time that instinct became overactive. It began to see everything as danger. Risking your ego became as terrifying as facing a lion in the wild. But the ego isn't the real you. The real you, your soul, your essence, is fearless. It's eternal. It doesn't fear death because it knows it can't die. So what happens the moment fear shows up? Instead of letting it paralyze you, you learn to ask one powerful question: what is this trying to teach me? The moment you do that, the fear loses its grip. The energy of fear gets transmuted into focus, into strength, into clarity. You stop being a slave to your feelings, and you start becoming a student of your emotions. And this compass, it's not vague. It's precise. It points to the conversation you've been avoiding, the dream you've put off, the change you know you need to make but haven't. Every fear you face is a lesson in your own power. It's the divine whispering, this way. This is where your purpose lies. Most people are walking away from fear, and that's why they're walking away from their potential. But not you. You're going to do something radically different. You're going to turn toward it. You're going to follow it. You're going to let it guide you into the fire of your own transformation. Because if you want to live fully, if you want to die with no regrets, you've got to trust that your fear isn't the obstacle. It's the invitation. You only grow through discomfort. This is universal law. Nothing grows without pressure. Muscles only grow when you push them to their limits. Diamonds are only formed under intense heat and crushing pressure. Trees only deepen their roots when the wind tries to rip them from the soil. So why do we expect our lives to be any different? We've been lied to. We were told that if it's hard, it must not be right. That if we feel tension, we must be broken. That if we're afraid, we must be weak. But the truth is the opposite. When discomfort shows up, when fear rears its head, when your comfort zone starts to shake, that's not a breakdown. That's the beginning of your breakthrough. Your brain is wired for survival, not for success. And the moment you try to grow, your brain sends the signal, danger, retreat. But if you listen to that voice, if you obey that signal, you'll stay trapped in the same loop for the rest of your life. You'll replay the same year 1,000 times and call it a life. So you have to choose. Do you want to be comfortable, or do you want to grow? You can't have both. The people who achieve extraordinary things aren't fearless. They've simply trained themselves to lean into discomfort, to move when others freeze, to speak when others stay silent, to try when others hesitate, because what you avoid owns you, what you confront frees you. Your next level is not found in what you already know. It's found in the unknown, in the place where your legs shake and your voice trembles and your excuses scream at you to stop. That's where growth lies. And here's the thing, you're never going to feel ready. Readiness is a myth. The people you admire didn't wait until they were ready. They moved while they were scared. They spoke before they were confident. They acted before they had all the answers, so the next time fear whispers, you can't, your body shakes, your breath quickens, and your doubts get loud, say, good, this is the signal, I'm growing, because that discomfort you feel. That's the sacred ground, that's the space where transformation happens. Every breakthrough begins with a breakdown of fear. What holds you back isn't the circumstances, it isn't the economy, it isn't your past. It's the fear you haven't faced, that's it. You can stack strategies on top of strategies, read all the books, take all the courses. But if fear is still driving the bus, you'll crash every time. So what do? We don't kill fear. You'll never be fearless, but you don't have to be. You just have to stop letting fear be in charge. You just have to break the illusion that fear has power over you, and to do that, you have to dismantle it. Fear only survives in the dark. The moment you shine a light on it, talk about it, name it, lean into it, it begins to dissolve, because fear thrives on the unknown. But once you name it, once you feel it fully and still choose to move forward, it loses its grip. Think about this. The biggest shifts in your life came after moments of fear. The decision to leave, to speak, to invest, to change, to step up, to say, I'm done playing small. Every breakthrough was born through pain, through pressure, through the fire of fear. You cannot bypass fear. You have to move through it. You have to stand inside it until it no longer owns you. until the part of you that was hiding steps into the light and says, I'm ready. A breakthrough isn't a moment. It's a choice. It's the decision to stop running, to stop numbing, to stop pretending. It's the decision to look fear in the eye and say, you don't get to lead anymore. When that happens, everything changes. Because your identity starts to shift, and identity is everything. Once you start to see yourself as someone who faces fear, someone who grows through discomfort, someone who takes action in the face of doubt, then fear no longer defines you. You become the author of your life. Fear reveals what matters most. If you didn't care, you wouldn't be afraid. That's the truth. If you didn't care about love, you wouldn't fear rejection. If you didn't care about purpose, you wouldn't fear failure. If you didn't care about freedom, you wouldn't fear being stuck. Fear shows you where your heart lies. It shows you what you value. It exposes your deepest truth. So instead of judging your fear, what if you got curious? What if you asked, what does this reveal about what I love, what I want, what I believe in? Suddenly, fear becomes a mirror. It reflects back your priorities. It points to your calling. You fear because you care. And that's not weakness. That's power. That's clarity. In fact, if you're not afraid, maybe the goal isn't big enough. Maybe your dream isn't honest enough. Maybe your path isn't sacred enough. Because real vision should shake you. It should make your stomach drop a little. That's how you know it's real. Fear reveals your values. It strips away the fluff. You can't fake it when fear shows up. You learn what you're willing to fight for, what you're willing to sacrifice for, what matters more than safety. That's why fear is a gift. It refines you. It purifies your intentions. It shows you what you're made of. When you use fear this way, it becomes a filter for your choices. You stop living by should and start living by must. You stop chasing approval and start chasing alignment. You stop reacting and start creating. You don't just face fear, you follow it. Because now you know that where fear points, your truth lies. Master fear and you master your destiny. This is the final piece. You want freedom, you want fulfillment, you want power, you must master fear. Mastery doesn't mean you no longer feel fear. It means fear no longer drives you. It means you've trained your nervous system to respond, not react. You've conditioned your body to breathe through panic, to act through uncertainty, to move through chaos. The difference between those who live small and those who live fully isn't fear, it's what they do with it. Do they let it control their lives, or do they alchemize it into energy, into focus, into drive? When you master fear, your world expands. You take risks others won't. You speak truths others won't. You love deeper, live bolder, lead louder. You become magnetic, not because you're fearless, but because your fear no longer owns you. That's when you become unstoppable. That's when you step into leadership. That's when you live a legacy. Fear will never disappear. But it doesn't have to. You just need to remember this. Fear is not your enemy. It's your training ground, and every time you face it, you rise. You become more of who you were always meant to be. So stop running. Turn around, face it, learn from it, use it. Because fear, my friend, is your greatest teacher, and you were born to graduate.